What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Going to talk about Mikey Garcia and some things he said about Vasyl Lomachenko in a fight, about a fight that I definitely hope happens. I think could be one of the top 4 or 5 fights in boxing if it could be made, and one that I'll be very interested to see. And obviously that is Mikey Garcia versus Vasyl Lomachenko. Mikey Garcia said nobody's reached out to him about it, but it's a fight that he wants. So I'm going to discuss that. And before I do, though, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the channel again. Subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing and for your continued support. Also, for people who are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, I want to let you guys know that this is a channel where we use the revenue generated to support some causes. Consequently, I do put ads in the videos. They don't cost you anything to watch, but I do understand that some people don't like watching ads and videos. But hey, there's always YouTube Red, which would should alleviate that problem for you. But hey, that's what the channel's here for, and we gotta go with it. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel in Super Chat, supports the channel in Patreon and Venmo, and the live streams. Going to be doing a live stream later today. So thank you guys very much. And again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Mikey Garcia needs to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm a big fan, and I've said this a lot of times on the channel. I'm a big proponent of unifying championship belts and working in a weight class until it is clear that you are that a particular boxer is the best fighter in that weight division, and from there move up. That's what I would like to see. That is my personal opinion about what stands out to a boxer the most about me. Most stands out about a boxer the most to me. There's only a few circumstances where that has happened this century, and that is Bernard Hopkins at 160, Jermaine Taylor when he beat Bernard Hopkins, Terrence Crawford at 140 pounds, and now Alexander Usyk at cruiserweight. They are the only people. Also, I think Lennox Lewis, that might have been towards the beginning of the 2000s when he held the belts at the time that were considered. The WBO wasn't included at the time, and I don't know how and who makes the decision that sanctioning bodies magically turn into major belts. Who knows makes that determination. That might be a subject for a video to be made. But Lennox Lewis was that in the heavyweight division. And of course, moving up in weight doesn't apply to the heavyweight division, but it does apply to everybody else. Now, Mikey Garcia has his goal of reaching, winning belts in 3 different divisions. You got Manny Pacquiao, who's won belts in 8 divisions. You have, I think it's 8 divisions, a lot of them. Mayweather won him in, I don't know how many, 5, 126, maybe 130, 135, 140, 147. I think he fought at 154 once, but I don't think that was actually for a belt at 154. So unless he's got a 126-pound title, I don't know about. That's 4 for him. There's a lot of people, of course, Emil Griffith back in the day went several weight divisions when there was no divisions in between. So, this is something that's happened. But before I say maybe it was the mid 1970s, I think, before all of these sanctioning bodies, the WBA broke off, the WBC broke off from the WBA, and then, the IBF came out, then the IBO came out, right? Before you had all this stuff, you just had one champion per weight class, and you knew who the champion was. At lightweight right now, we don't know who the champion is. It's not, Mikey Garcia is not the champion. Vasyl Lomachenko is not the champion. Jose Pedraza is not the champion. In order to know who the champion is, they need to fight each other. And then if Mikey Garcia, and this is again my opinion, if Mikey Garcia wins that, then Mikey Garcia, move up. If you want to move up to 140, cool. If you want to move up to 147, cool. But I think that there's a lot more to be gained, again, from my perspective and for quote unquote legacy, by answering the questions that fight fans want to know the most. Who is the best 135-pound fighter? Is it Vasyl Lomachenko or is it Mikey Garcia? Or on the outside, an outside shot, is it Jose Pedraza? I don't think anybody's really actively thinking that it is Jose Pedraza, but it is what it is. But let me go with what Mikey Garcia says real quick about this. He says it seems like the plans with his promoter are to face Pedraza. Excuse me. In a unification. I have not heard anything from them. I'm ready to face whoever it is. Lomachenko is the fight I want at lightweight, and there's no better fight than Garcia and Lomachenko at 135, Garcia said. We have to see what options are available, what dates are left at the end of the year. The plan is to go up to the welterweight division and seek a 5th division title with Errol. Man, Errol, first of all, I think anybody that thinks that Mikey Garcia is going to get anything but the brakes beaten off him by Errol Spence is out of their mind. Errol Spence is a big, big dude. Errol Spence is a very, very good boxer, very, very tenacious. And I think Mikey Garcia would definitely be biting off way more than he can chew. There's a chance, of course, that I'm wrong, and I accept that. But I personally am not interested in that. And I'll say it again. I think I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm more interested in unification happening at welterweight with the people who are actually welterweights. Mikey Garcia has never fought at welterweight. To have him jump all the way up ahead of everybody else that's trying to unify those belts and are involved in that whole thing is wrong to me. He's never had a welterweight fight. And to have him to put that ahead of a unification fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Sean Porter, Danny Garcia winner, to me puts things out. It's just out of place. But if Mikey Garcia were to beat Vasyl Lomachenko, then people would widely consider Mikey Garcia the top pound for pound fighter in the world. I might not necessarily do that. I would still believe that it is the last guy, the guy before last. The Terrence Crawford is the guy that I have as the number 1 pound for pound guy. Based on the fact that he won a title at 135, he unified all the belts at 140, and then he won a belt at 147 pounds. And he didn't skip between weight classes, jump up, jump down, get one title here, one title there. Well, I guess now Mikey's got 2. But he got one, then he unified the whole division. He won all of them. And he paid out of his pocket to do it. A good amount to do that against Julius Ndungo. And people will say, hey, Julius Ndungo wasn't the best fighter in the world. Kind of like the rationale that I understand, that from my understanding, the Boxing Writers Association of America had for making Vasyl Lomachenko Fight of the Year for when he only fought one guy in his weight class in 2017. One guy in his weight class, and that was Jason Sosa. One guy in his weight class, but somehow find a way to just brush off the fact that Terrence Crawford unified a division, which is, man, I don't understand what the boxing writers were seeing in that, other than maybe a good relationship with Bob Arum, and they were both Bob Arum's fighters, and Bob Arum's lobbying for Vasyl Lomachenko. Whatever the case is, I thought that was very undeserved. Not that Lomachenko didn't have a very good year. I believe he had a very good, you beat 2 guys that you're supposed to beat below your weight class, and Miguel Mariaga and Vasyl and Guillermo Rigondeaux, and one guy who was a borderline journeyman. That's not a stellar year. What he's doing this year is a better year. Having moved up, fought for a belt that wasn't the belt that Lomachenko had before. He didn't take an in-house fight. He fought a respected champion in Jorge Linares. He faced difficulties against Jorge Linares, and he came back and knocked out Jorge Linares. To me, this is a better year for Vasyl Lomachenko so far than 2017 was. And that's even if Lomachenko doesn't get a second fight this year. But if he does get a second fight, more than likely that's going to be against Jose Pedraza. Jose Pedraza, I think, is going to be a tougher fight for Vasyl Lomachenko than Jorge Linares was. And I say that because I think that I just was never very impressed with Jorge. I was never impressed with Jorge Linares, but I haven't beaten Jose Pedraza. But if they can make that fight with Mikey Garcia gets more out of that than a whooping by Errol Spence. Because if he gets beat by Errol Spence Jr., which 95% he does, he's going to wind up coming right back down to another weight class and saying, hey, I tried for it. Now let me go and try to, do something else back down in these lower weight classes. And to me, man, I would rather him answer the question first. Now, whose responsibility is it to make this fight between Lomachenko and Mikey Garcia? To be honest with you, I have to put the onus on Lomachenko to try to make that fight. And it's for the same reason that I say that I would put that the onus is on Terrence Crawford to make the Errol Spence fight. That's because Mikey is a promotional free agent. Errol Spence is a promotional free agent. They have the ability to make that decision themselves. If something is put on the table for them, or if they send something over to somebody else, they can negotiate and they can sign for whatever fight they want. That's not the case with Vasyl Lomachenko. It's not the case with Terrence Crawford. They have a middleman that they have to negotiate with. And that middleman is Bob Arum or it's Top Rank Promotions, and Top Rank Promotions has a history of doing in-house fights. So if they want to break that mold, they have to put the pressure on out of their mouths in the public and behind the scenes to Bob Arum or Todd DeBuff or whoever it is that they have to talk to through their managers to try to push and make Top Rank make that fight happen. And if Top Rank says no, Top Rank says no. But I think it's on them to get out there on the limb and try to push and make that happen. But, look, I respect all these guys. The beautiful thing about this is that they're all excellent fighters. Mikey Garcia is an excellent fighter. Vasyl Lomachenko is an excellent fighter. And Errol Spence Jr. is an excellent fighter. I know that Terrence Crawford is a little bit outside of this conversation, but Terrence Crawford is an excellent fighter. And the best thing that could happen for boxers is that all of these guys get in there and they fight each other. But when they fight each other, they should be fighting each other to determine who is the best in that weight class. Who is the best welterweight? Who is the best lightweight? Mikey Garcia holds the IBF and the WBC lightweight title. If Vasyl Lomachenko beats Jose Pedraza, Lomachenko would hold the WBO and the WBA super lightweight title, 135 pound, not super lightweight, not 140. Sometimes it's a little bit of a tongue twister. But anyway, that would decide who the best lightweight is. And that's the perfect time for those guys to fight. Same thing for Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. If Errol Spence can beat Sean Porter, the winner of Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, then he would become the IBF WBC welterweight champion. And then we got the WBA hanging out there with Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford. But Terrence Crawford, even to get to Keith Thurman, has to talk out. But anyway, that's my take on it. I'm not going to belabor the subject anymore, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you've not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And also, thank you guys for supporting the channel. And with that, I'm out. Peace.